You open your laptop to get something done, something important, and within 90 seconds, you are on your phone, not looking for anything, just scrolling. And the worst part is, you did not even decide to do that. It just happened. If that sounds like your day, I need you to stay with me for the next few minutes because I want to explain exactly why that keeps happening, and more importantly, what is actually working for people who have fixed it. I'm going to get into the real stuff today, not generic advice, the actual reason your brain keeps checking out on you. And real quick, remind me in a few minutes to share something with you. I put together a breakdown explaining how people are fixing this faster than just habit changes alone. I could not fit it all here without making this video way too long, so just remind me, I will tell you how to get it. Okay, let us talk about what is actually happening. Your brain was not designed for the environment we live in today. For most of human history, real threats were rare. A predator, a storm, a food shortage, your brain would spike into high alert, handle the situation, and then return to a calm baseline. That return to baseline is critical. That recovery window is how your brain consolidates information, restores focus, and prepares for the next challenge. Now think about your average morning. You wake up and within 60 seconds you are checking your phone. News, notifications, emails, social media, text messages, all of it flooding into your brain before you have even had a glass of water. Your brain is registering all of that as information it needs to process. Every notification is a small stress signal. Every piece of news is a small alert. And your brain never gets the recovery window. It just goes from stimulation to stimulation to stimulation all day long. By 10 in the morning, your brain is already operating like it's been awake for 12 hours. That is why focus feels so hard. That is why you sit down to do real work and your brain is already tapped out. It's not that you're lazy. It's not that you lack willpower. Your brain is genuinely exhausted before the day has really even started. Here's something most people never hear. The average American checks their phone 96 times a day. That's roughly once every 10 minutes during waking hours. Every single one of those checks triggers a small dopamine response, a small reward signal. And over time, your brain gets calibrated to expect that constant stimulation. So when you sit down to do something that requires sustained attention, something slow and deep and demanding, your brain starts looking for that stimulation hit. It gets restless, it pulls toward distraction, and most of the time, it wins. That is not a character flaw, that is neuroscience. And once you understand that, you can actually do something about it. Here's the part people miss. Most focus advice tells you to try harder, use more discipline, just stop checking your phone. And that works for some people for about 3 days, because willpower is a limited resource, and you are trying to use willpower to override a deeply trained neurological pattern. That is like trying to outrun a car on foot. You might keep up for a block, you are not winning that race. What actually works is giving your brain what it is missing, not more restriction, more recovery. Your brain needs structured periods of intentional low stimulation to restore its ability to focus. Think of it like charging a battery. You wouldn't expect your phone to run all day without charging. Your brain is the same way. The people who are genuinely fixing their focus are not just cutting out distractions, they're actively giving their brain recovery time built into their day. And this brings me to what I mentioned at the beginning. Here's what I could not fully explain in this video. I've been testing something, a 12-minute audio tool called the Brain Song. It uses specific sound patterns designed to guide your brain into a recovery state. Not meditation, not white noise, something more intentional than that. The idea is simple. You listen for 12 minutes during a break or first thing in the morning. Your brain gets a structured reset, and then when you go back to work, you're working with a rested, calibrated brain instead of a depleted one. I was skeptical at first, but I've been paying attention to the research on sound and brain states for a while now, And the results people are reporting make a lot of sense once you understand what is actually happening with overstimulation. I put together a full breakdown explaining the science behind it, who it works for, what people are experiencing, and how to actually use it. I couldn't fit all of that here without making this video 30 minutes long. If you want that breakdown, message the word brain to me on Instagram. I will send it to you directly there. My handle is in the description below. Now let me keep going because I want to give you practical things you can use today, regardless of anything else. The first thing you need to do is create a real barrier between waking up and your phone. I am not saying do not use your phone in the morning. I am saying do not let it be the first thing. Give yourself 15 minutes before you look at anything. Drink water. Sit outside for a few minutes. Let your brain wake up on its own terms before you flood it with input. This one change alone has a significant impact on how your focus holds up for the rest of the day. The second thing is to work in blocks, not marathons. Your brain can sustain deep, focused attention for roughly 45 to 90 minutes before it genuinely needs a break. Not a quick scroll break, a real break. Step away from the screen, look at something far away, walk around, let your eyes and your mind rest. When you try to push through for 3 or 4 hours straight, you are not being productive. You are burning out your focus for the rest of the day. Work hard for 90 minutes, rest for 15. Repeat. You will actually get more done in less time using that rhythm than you will grinding through an entire afternoon with diminishing returns. The third thing is what I call protecting the last 30 minutes of your night. Most people end their day by scrolling in bed until they fall asleep. Here's what that does to your brain. The blue light from your screen signals your brain to stay awake. The content, news, social media, videos, keeps your nervous system activated, and your brain goes into sleep already overstimulated, which means the overnight restoration that your brain desperately needs does not happen properly. You wake up tired, already behind, and the whole cycle starts again. 30 minutes of no screens before bed is one of the highest return changes you can make to your focus, not because of what you are adding, because of what you are no longer taking away. Let me ask you something. How much is low focus actually costing you? Think about the work you keep putting off, the projects that never get finished, the tasks that take twice as long as they should because you keep getting distracted. For a lot of people, that is not just a productivity issue. That is real money, real opportunity, real career impact. The ones who are getting ahead are not necessarily smarter or more talented. They are just able to hold their attention longer, do deeper work, finish what they start. That is a trainable skill, and most people just do not know how to train it, which is exactly why I put together that breakdown, because I wanted to explain what is actually working beyond just the basic habit advice, including the audio tool I mentioned and how it fits into this. If you want it, the word is brain. Message me on Instagram. Link is in the description. The ones who have already messaged are already going through it, and a few of them have come back to tell me it finally made the whole picture make sense. Okay, one more thing before I wrap up. Sleep. I have to say this. Sleep is not recovery time for your body. It is recovery time for your brain. During sleep, your brain clears out waste products that build up during the day. It consolidates learning. It restores the neural connections that support attention and memory. When you're running on 6 hours or less consistently, your brain is functioning in a state of genuine impairment. Studies show that someone who has been sleep-deprived for 2 weeks performs the same as someone who has been awake for 24 hours straight. And the scary part is they report feeling totally fine. Your brain stops accurately assessing its own deficits when it is sleep-deprived. 7 to 8 hours is not a luxury. It is the foundation that every focus strategy is built on. You can do everything else right, but without enough sleep, your brain simply cannot rebuild to full capacity. All right, let me close with this. If focus has been a real problem for you, I want you to take this seriously. Not because I'm trying to scare you, because I've talked to too many people who spent years thinking they were just not the focus type, not the disciplined type, not the kind of person who could sit down and do deep work. And they were wrong. They just never got the right information. Your brain can absolutely be retrained. The research on this is very clear, and the people who are doing it are not doing anything heroic. They are making a few smart adjustments and giving their brain what it actually needs. If you want to understand the full picture, including what I've been testing and what it has done for my own focus, message the word brain on Instagram. I'll send you the complete breakdown. I genuinely want you to have it, because doing nothing keeps things exactly the way they are right now, and you deserve better than that. Like this video if it helped you, subscribe so you don't miss the next one, and I will see you soon.